Believe it or not, but buying your first e-mountain bike can be an incredibly difficult task. Not only are there such things as the motor, the battery and the display to think about, but there's also such things as the componentry, the sizing and also the colour. You could, I suppose, add to that list how you're going to buy the bike. Do you go direct sales? Do you go to a chain store? Or do you buy from your local bike shop? Now, over the last few years, many people have been holding out on buying their first e-mountain bike for fear of advances in technology. But in the last few weeks, up and down the country in the UK, has been a massive rise in e-mountain bike sales. So we would actually like to offer a warm welcome to the new e-mountain bikers out there, to EMBN. And this is going to be the subject of today's show, is the rise in e-mountain bike sales. It's well known that e-mountain bike sales have been growing rapidly and swiftly in most parts of the world over the last few years. And as I said, many people have used the current lockdown situation to get over that final hurdle and buy their first e-mountain bike. Now, in the UK, bike shops have been one of the few businesses that have been allowed to stay open. So in today's show, we've actually been chatting to bike shop owners up and down the UK just to see exactly what is going on. I'm going to start off by having a chat with Midlands specialist e-bike shop, Raceco Cycles. Busy day then, guys?
Very busy, yeah. It's probably, one on record for sure, man. It's crazy.
Really? Seriously? That mad?
Yeah, just never known anything like it at the moment. It's just absolutely bonkers.
Okay, and so people are buying bikes then, guys?
Yeah, e-bikes, normal bikes, hardtail e-bikes, full suspension e-bikes, city e-bikes, pretty much anything with two wheels has been flying.
Is one type of bike selling higher than the other, like in terms of e-bike versus non-e-bikes?
Yeah, I mean, everything pretty much e-bike, yeah, definitely. Yeah, normal stuff. It's almost a rarity now, really. It's kind of, yeah, it's like, yeah, when people come in and, you're asking the question, like, are they, is it normal or e? Like, when they kind of say normal, you're a bit like, really? Do you want to go that way? So, no, it's pretty crazy, really, yeah. But definitely, yeah, E is where I think it's at the moment for sure.
It's crazy down here in the Forest of Dean. The trails are seriously busy, and I guess we all have some responsibility to make sure we keep hold of that, right? Yeah,
it's. I think it's. Yeah, everyone's got to just stay a distance still, and that's what we're kind of doing in store. Really, we've had to really kind of work things very differently. It's something we've never seen before in pretty much 18 years we've been going. So, like the store for people to walk into, we're kind of not allowing people in here. So we're doing a lot of exchange on the car park, and to be fair, a lot of people have been super respectful of that, and it just seems to be working really, really well, talking from a distance. And, a lot of people have already done quite a lot of research on websites and things like that. They're obviously phoning around to see if the bikes are in stock, because I think, all the popular stuff at the moment is hard to fulfill, really. So if you have it in stock, people will just kind of come and get it.
Are we moving towards drive-through bike sales then?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, McDonald's style around here for sure. Yeah, pull up at one window, pay, and then collect it on the way out. Yeah, it's very much. Everybody wants everything. I think the thing is as well, the weather's been so kind to us at the moment, and everybody's just wanted to be out on their bike. So yeah, it's everyone's wanted to try e-biking and get out in the weather and get some fitness, I think.
It's quite interesting what you said not so long ago, where some people are using the current lockdown situation to push themselves over that final hurdle to get their first e-mountain bike.
Yeah, it seems like I think it's been, a lot of customers feel like it's, we feel like it's been in the back of the mind, but it's just presented an opportunity now with, limited access to other sports and other recreational activities, with cycling, being a suggested government thing to do in these times, where people have just kind of thought, well, okay, maybe we're not going to get the holiday, or we're not able to go to the gym, or we're not able to do everything else. Let's get out riding.
Wow, can you believe it? 6-to-1 ratio in favour of e-mountain bikes compared to non-e-mountain bikes, and it seems they've got empty showrooms up there in Stourbridge. We're going to turn our attention now further north. We're moving from the Midlands up to Glasgow, and I caught up with former BMX racer Scott Davidson and his shop Love-EBikes in the centre of Glasgow. Are people buying mountain bikes and road bikes or whatever? Are people buying bicycles basically?
Yes, they are. So after Boris's announcement, it fell off a cliff. Obviously, a crazy thing going on with us in the country and the world. So it stopped for two weeks, say. And then about 2 weeks, someone hit the switch, the on switch. And it's people are buying bikes.
Basically, they're buying a range of mountain bikes. Then, you're not seeing an increase in one type of bike over another.
No, not really. 150 travel up, generally speaking. And we've got some fantastic hills. Unfortunately, there was a bit of a fire here, hillfire, wildfire, 2 days ago, and most of Glasgow was covered in smoke, or the west of Glasgow was covered in smoke. But we got great riding, but there's a lot of those locals are now wanting bikes.
There has been a slightly negative attitude to cyclists in certain parts of the UK. What's the attitude?
I think I can't speak for the greater population, but I've not been heckled or anything, and I'm riding my bike every night after work, shut the shop, and go out for a spin, either on a mountain bike or on one of my city bikes or whatever. I think people's attitudes are pretty decent because, I think we're being pretty well behaved up here. Social distancing, all that stuff. Talk
about your sales pre-COVID and post. Well, not post, and during the current time. Are you seeing different behaviour of people coming in the shop buying bikes? In terms of what they're buying.
Probably just they want them right now. just because the sun has eventually started to shine about 10 days ago after 4 or 5 months of horrificness, and people were just getting itchy feet. We're all going a little bit delirious, I think, right now with what's going on, and it is interesting to see how the dynamics of different people behave in this lockdown situation. So people just want bikes quicker. That's all. People were buying bikes before, and now they're buying bikes again. They just want them now because they're losing their minds.
Wow, really cool catching up with Scott Davidson there at Love-EBikes up in Glasgow. It seems the sun is finally shining north of the border. We're now going to turn our attention further south. We're moving from Glasgow down to the southeast of England. And Chris Riley of Berkshire Bikes. Now, he calls himself a simple bike shop mechanic, but this really is a specialist turbo lever store. Chris, you must have been busy or not over the last few weeks?
It's been crazy busy. We're doing 7 in the morning to 10 o'clock at the night at the moment to try and keep up on top of things. It's a month ago, everything was electric. Now it's just people wanting bikes just to get out, to be able to get out with the children. And, you're selling stuff that, to be honest with you, that may not be normally the best-selling bikes, and we just can't buy them quick enough. It's crazy.
So you mentioned there a minute ago that so people in your shops at least were buying more e-mountain bikes prior to the virus, right?
Yeah, for sure. We opened the turbo store. It was a year ago last week, and it's amazing. We've always done a fair few bikes with Specialized, but when we got the opportunity to open the turbo store, it just completely changed the business. It's just gone absolutely crazy, and people are traveling from all over the country. We're lucky because, like with Raceco, they have a store too, and I know for sure for Paul and for myself, it's made a massive difference to the business. And for us, certainly, if you spoke to me a month ago, I would have said that 70% of our sales were electric and 30% were non. At the moment, I think it's 70% non and 30% electric at the minute. It's changed completely.
Are the people that are buying mountain bikes, are they actually new to mountain biking?
Yeah, I think that, what we're seeing at the moment is, people that just want to get out as a family. I think the main difference is that I would say that most people won't be going on holiday this year. So they're using their funds that they would normally use to go away to be able to, get out and get their leisure products that they want. The bicycles are, obviously seems to be the main thing for us at the moment, for sure.
Yeah. So what about how's things working out there in terms of handing over? Have you? I mean, I did speak to Paul at Raceco, and he said they become almost like a McDonald's, in terms of handing over bikes through the gates and stuff like that. Is it the same for you guys down there? Yeah,
being that we have a couple of separate stores, we can sort of hand over in the Turbo store where it's 1-to-1. The thing is for us and for Paul, we're known for our customer service, and for both of us, it's just, it's so alien when you're just sort of like arm's length giving someone a bike and saying, see you later when all this is over. We tried to do our best. We had a customer last week that brought a bike from us and, asked if it could be delivered. We delivered it. And we forgot his crash helmet. And he rang up the next day and said, wasn't really happy with the service. So we drove back out with a helmet the next day. So some people really, are a bit forgiving that they realise that, I know for Paul and for myself, we've spoken about it, quite a bit. Realistically, neither of us want to be open because of the danger. We're lucky that we're really busy and that is a nice thing for the business side of things, but it is scary. There's 11 staff working here at the moment, and the biggest priority has got to be my staff. I have ladies working for me that have got children, and if anything happened to them, they would struggle with who would bring the children up and things. So, it's completely alien. It's as much as it's lovely that we are busy, as I say, but it's a lot of hard work, and we just have to get on with it, and that's all there is to it. So.
Wow, Chris, can you believe it? Raceco Cycles 6-1 in favour of e-bike sales. But, it seems like the story is different up and down the country. I just want to ask you, what's your advice to people who might be thinking about buying an e-mountain bike? Some people are of the opinion, they should wait around for a year or two because they think that the technology is going to improve. A bit like telephones or cameras or things like that. What's your advice? What's the Smith advice?
The Smith advice. Well, as we know, Steve, that battery tech hasn't changed massively. The motor tech has changed slightly, but it's not massive leaps every single day. So I think the time is now. And I think those bikes are a little bit more expensive, but they do open up the world massively, a lot more than a traditional mountain bike would. And as we know, fitness-wise, it can be quite intimidating jumping on a mountain bike and going for a massive ride. But with the e-bike, with that assistance, you can obviously tailor it to your fitness. So once you're not as fit, you can still go for those big rides. But once you get your fitness back, dial that assistance down, you're going to get a massive workout. So I think the e-bike in the long run is definitely the one to go. Yeah. What's your thoughts?
Well, as we've been discussing over the last few weeks, some people have got more free time than others. Clearly, there is a huge increase in mountain bike sales throughout the UK, at least. Interested to know what you guys, what your experiences are in different parts of the world. But I can assure you that, first to answer your question, Chris, yes, I think is the answer. Just get on with it, start living. But also, I just want to tell you guys that we have been working 24 hours a day on EMBN, so we've got a load of fresh new content coming out in the next few weeks, next few months, so stay tuned. Actually, Chris, what is the news this week?
Well, the news, Steve, as we know, Muc-Off are already doing some awesome bike products, but they're doing some awesome hand cleaners now. Now, the way this come around is actually pretty funny. It was a nurse that got in contact with Muc-Off. She actually found that putting chamois cream on her face was stopping the sort of irritation for the masks. The masks that they obviously have to wear 24/7 when they're in contact with patients with COVID. So Muc-Off kindly donated a load of product to the hospitals, but then they got into contact with more hospitals, key workers, and sent out a load of products to help, out with those guys. They're also donating 10% of all their profits from all of their products to those guys that are helping out with COVID. So it's really good to see big industry players helping out with the current situation.
I was going to mention there you mentioned chamois liners. Now, I had a conversation with Marco Fontana, a former Olympic medalist who's now a professional e-mountain biker, and he actually told me that during last year's Tour of Mont Blanc, he actually didn't use a chamois for like 8 hours riding per day. I was actually blown away by that.
You must have ass cheeks made of leather, I reckon.
Yeah, so we've actually got a really cool interview and bike check with Marco Fontana coming up on the channel in the next couple of weeks. Laurie Greenland talking about pros. Laurie Greenland has been riding his Mondraker up the slab in Bristol.
Yeah, I saw it was pretty impressive, wasn't it?
Goodness knows what gear he's in.
I think he must be pushing a 50-tooth chainring up there, maybe from Mammoth Mountain. Did you see the Kellets as well? Got the local motocross enduro superstar. They've been out on his e-bike, his Mondraker, and he's getting a bit of Bernard Kerr inspiration. It must be something, I think, from Moto. They're doing those jumps to stoppies, and Todd's getting into it on his e-bike as well. That's pretty cool, isn't it?
Very, very, very cool. Great mountain bike skills.
Right, on the channel this week, we have got an absolute banger of a week, full of content, some exciting videos. On Friday, we've got how to use pre-hop out on the trail. Now, this is an invaluable skill to help you pump the terrain and not lose control on those steep slopes, so check that one out. What have we got on Sunday, Steve?
Well, as if you didn't already know, Chris, it's Chris Smith's scariest moments on e-mountain bikes. That must involve Adam Brayton, Sam Pilgrim, Blake Sampson, Tom Cardy. Is there a highlight for you, or do you think people should just hang out until Sunday to see?
I think you've got to hang on until Sunday, Steve, to check that one out. There's been loads of scary moments, and I wish I'd taken a few spare sets of boxers for some of those videos.
Yeah, and remember, scary moments don't necessarily need to involve whips or upside 360. What do you call it when you go
backflip, Steve?
Oh, come on, Grandad. But also, Chris, the sort of small skirmish you had in Spain recently, that was quite slow speed. So
exactly.
I've broken my testicles in half going at 5 miles an hour. So scary moments aren't necessarily off the ground moments, are they?
Well, we've got a bit more of a chill video coming out on Monday. It's all about kid seats, trailers and tow ropes. So a really great thing about the e-bike is bringing your kids along for the ride. And we're showing you all the different options to bring your kids along for the ride too. So check that one out.
Now, last week on the channel, we had a feature called How Loud Are E-Mountain Bike Motors? Now, it was never, ever meant to be a total science because, after all, we are not experts in the sound business. We've got a cat. About 45 decibels. However, we did include a sound engineer into it. I think the conclusion was more about that most e-mountain bike motors are around about the same sound, and also I think what the video aimed to do was actually get some food for thought, really, and create a bit of a discussion about it, because there's a lot of things said on the internet. This bike is louder than the other, and this one's not. It basically depends on so many factors, such as rider weight, environmental factors, and also, as many very clever people on the comments mentioned, who are far more skilled than us, there are certain ways to do specialist sound recording. But honestly, thanks so much for the feedback, and we've got some great comments there from obviously people who know what they're talking about. Chris, what can you highlight a few of them, please?
Yeah, well, G. Smith, he's saying not as loud as a dirt bike and even quieter than my heart pounding in my chest and heavy breathing. So it sounds like he's getting a good workout and not too bothered by the actual noise of his motor.
Yeah. And then not for me is that Shimano sounded like a milk float. It's one area for me that needs some major work. Well, like I said, you know, these motors were actually quite similar. They're all between 80 to 90 decibels on the kind of recording we did. But I think when you ride an e-mountain bike, and that's the key thing, you need to get out and about and actually ride them yourself. Like I said, my perception of the sound was quite similar across all motors.
Yeah, definitely. And as you mentioned on your video, I think that sound differs on the frame design as well, what material it's made out of, how big the down tube is, etc., etc. So loads of different variables.
Yeah.
Micah B-Wind, he's saying, I have the Turbo Levo Comp 2019. The motor is virtually silent most of the time. In fact, any increase in noise tell me I need to change gear up or down or the power mode. If I do that, it stays near silent in most trail scenarios. So, as you know, Steve, a lot of them do make a bit of noise, but that can depend on the gear and the cadence, so many different factors as well, isn't there?
Yeah, absolutely. And if Micah B-Wind says that his motor's silent, then we're certainly not going to argue with him. That's how it is. But if any of you are actually worried about the sound of your e-mountain bike motor or which one to choose, then the only way you can really do that is get to a demo day. This week's Get to Tech, we've had a great email in from Eric Nelson out in California with his tandem e-mountain bike with two Shimano E8000 motors, 1008 watt hours, Di2, 27.5, 29-inch wheels, and I mean this is fantastic. I mean, what a creation!
That does look amazing, doesn't it? I think that's what we definitely need, Steve, is to get one of these e-tandems.
Yeah, so nice one, Eric. Looks like you're having a great time out in sunny California. So, out and about in many parts of the world, northern, southern hemispheres, rain, wind, snow, you name it, we've got it here on our out and about section. Looks like the first one is coming from North America, Chris.
Yeah, we've got first up one of our regular contributors, Christine, aka the Squirrel Squeezer. They've been out shredding the slopes in BC, Canada on a Canevo. Now this looks pretty crazy. Some massive climbs here, Steve. And look at that stoppy descent too. I think she's got some inspiration from maybe the dam doing that stoppy down there. She's saying for a few hours a day, we get to safely and responsibly ride. These are the places and spaces that give us some brief sanity from these crazy times. That looks pretty cool out there, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. I think it's actually time to catch up with Christine, the Squirrel Squeezer. So, Christine, I think we should get on a call in the next 7 days and have a bit more of an insight into what you guys are up to over there in North America. Now, meanwhile, we have Raymond, who's chilling with a cold beer after a big ride. He's on a Cube Stereo Hybrid 140 HPC race model out in Belgium, West Flanders. Nice one, Raymond. Keep up the good work.
Nice. Next up, we've got Gunter with his highly modified high bike all mountain. He's out in Germany near, it's called Brandenburg, near Berlin. Now he's actually turned this high bike into a my bike. Now if you look at the graphics, he's been pretty cool there. He's actually changed that high to say my. Done loads of mods to it. The only original parts is the frame, the rear shock, the brakes and cranks. And he said he's modified the speed sensor from one of the spoke magnets to the brake disc version, kind of like you get on the Specialized Levo, things like that. Changing a load of parts as well. That looks really cool, that bike. Nice work.
Yeah. My bike from Minneapolis, that'll be the next thing. Now, Darren is here with his spanking fresh new build Santa Cruz Heckler out for his first ride in Pitchfee, Aberdeenshire. Whoa, love a bit of Scottish action.
Right, it's time for the Bike Vault. This is where we get to see all your rides from all over the world and we decide whether you're going to get a nice or a super nice. And of course, we've got the Bike of the Week coming off. What we got, Steve?
We have got Ruben on his Specialized Comp 2020 in Luxembourg. It's his first ride. Wow, looks like a lush green forest there. That's pretty hot, that is. I want to give that a nice.
Nice. So next up, we've got Dominique on his Voodoo Bizango E2020 model. He's out in Telford in Shropshire. So he got a new commuter and he already has a Spectral on. So now he has a spare battery. You can swap between the bikes. Big rides, here we come. That's a cool looking hardtail. Look at that, nice tan wall tyres. Gonna give that one a super nice.
Oh, you could. Lucky you, Dominic. Lucky you. Wow, looks freezing there. Orva, Cube Stereo Hybrid 140 2018 in Akureyri, North Iceland. Have we actually had many shots from Iceland, Chris?
We haven't, I don't think, have we?
I mean,
Pretty cool,
look
isn't
at that. Last day of frozen packed snow in the April evening sun. That is super nice every day of the week.
Nice. Now, I think we've both ridden here, Steve. This is Andrew out riding in Treffield Quarry in South Wales. He's on his Lap-Air overvolt, getting out by myself for a power hour and enjoying the stunning views, looking at the Brecon beacons in the distance. That, for me, has got to be a super nice, and that's a super nice riding spot too.
Yeah, that's a hell of a location there, Andrew. I've spent many a winter's day in there. I actually did a shoot with my colleague, our colleague, the Don, over on EMBN in that very quarry. Now,
I hope you've not been riding your trials motorbike in there though, Steve, have you?
I have actually. I've done a competition there once,
Whoa.
twice. Yeah, that was in the winter again. I had my tracksuit bottoms on and they split down the middle. Anyhow,
And some wellies.
Anyway, now this is Brant about to drop in on the In and Out Burger Trail on his 168th ride. Whoa,
Nice.
Turbo Canevo, Squamish, British Columbia. This is his first post-lockdown ride and his first forest fire 15 miles away. That's super nice, right? Super nice.
Super nice. We've got a bit of a home build going on here. This is Matthew. He's modified his Trek Slash 9.7 with a Paradox Kinetic Herms motor. He's out in Hobbs State Park in northwest Arkansas.
How about Arkansas?
Arkansas. Just a nice Arkansas. Just a nice misting ride through. Just a nice misting ride through the woods with friends. That is a nice shot and a nice bike.
Yeah. Where is it again, Chris?
Arkansas.
Now, it looks like the New Forest here. Yeah, actually it is the New Forest. This is Barry out rinsing the battery every day on his intense taser during lockdown. Nice shot, nice shot.
Wow, this is a nice dog and a nice workshop. Check this out. This is Terry. He's got a Norco Sight VLT2 with DVO suspension upgraded and Chromac components. Mavic wheels as well. He's out in Crow's Nest Pass, Alberta, Canada, about to get out and hit the trails. That's a super nice dog and a super nice workshop, super nice all round.
Was that 3 super nices in one sentence?
Words, that's a record.
Well, I haven't seen a set of them for a while. White Onza tyres on Eric's Focus Jam in a name of a place which...
Come on, you got this one.
Okay, it's Bjorheimsbigs. Bjorheimsbigs?
I reckon that's it. I reckon you got it. Bjorheimsbigs.
Bjorheimsbigs in Norway. Eric, sorry. I mean, I'm really sorry. But luckily, he's still allowed to ride his bike and enjoys the best time of the year. Eric, super nice.
Wow, that's nice. We've got the bluebells out in full swing here. Look at this. This is Stuart with his Trek 9 Rail 9.7.
Dorset.
It's out in the Dorset Hills, chalky goodness, delightful streams, and bluebells aplenty. Nice, I think.
Chris, what's the difference between Dorset and Somerset? How would you say the different
Somerset and Dorset. I think Dorset's more Somerset than here, isn't it? Anyway, what are your thoughts on the bike of the week, Steve? Come on.
I'm going to let you give the bike of the week shout out, I think, Chris.
Oh, I don't know. We've got some strong entries this week, but I think it's got to be Andrew out in Treffield Quarry on his Lap-Air. It's an amazing shot, some great riding around there. So don't forget, if you guys want to get involved on the Bike Vault, use the upload service. The details for that are on screen and down in the description below. Love seeing all your bikes here on the Bike Vault.
And that's it for this week's EMBN show. Now, obviously, there's a lot of new e-mountain bikers out there. Don't forget that on the channel, we've got all types of content, from mechanical content to skills content, which are high-level skills from Chris Smith, or maybe some of the more basic skills type of riding, which has been on the channel over the last couple of weeks, on simply how to get up a hill in the right gear and in the right mode. It sounds very easy, but even people like former World Cup winner Rob Warner have got that wrong in the past. So welcome to the channel for all you new e-mountain bikers out there. That's it for this week, Chris. I think let us know on your thoughts on how e-bike sales are going, or if you're just about to buy an e-mountain bike, or if you want to go on buy an e-mountain bike. We're really keen to hear from you guys.